Okay, let's continue with the discussion on just give me- okay, let's continue with the discussion we had on labor variances. Uh, what we saw is there are four situations: single labor without idle time, single labor with idle time, multiple labor without idle time, multiple labor with idle time. The crux or the most important part always is the standard time computation. When you do standard time computation, please don't look at what is the actual output. That has no linkage to the standard equation. After the standard equation is formed, then you can look at AO and then do the calculation. Let's come to 22. ABC Limited has prepared the following estimation for the month of April: quantity, rate and amount, material A, material B, skilled labor, unskilled labor. Normal loss is 10 percentage of the total input and an idle labor time of 5% of expected labor hours was also estimated. At the end of the month, the following information has been collected from the cost accounting department. Company has produced 1480 kg finished product. Material A, material B, skilled labor, unskilled labor. You are required to compute material cost, price, mix, yield, labor cost, efficiency, and yield variance. Go through this. Okay, 2 minutes. Okay, I'll anyway give you work and only go. Don't worry. So we're going to start with material variances. Single material, multiple material. Multiple material. Labor is where some tricky part is there. So start with material variances. Complete the calculation. SP into SQ, SP into RSQ, SP into AQ and AP into AQ. SP and AP is directly given. AQ is also directly given. RSQ total of AQ in the standard mix. What is standard mix is? 800 is to 600. 800 is to 600. Standard quantity is not this, okay? Standard quantity is equal to actual output into input by output. Get the answer and then do the calculation. Clear? Start doing this. I'll be back in some 2-3 minutes. Complete the calculation. Standard price is 45 and 30. Actual is 43 and 32.5. AQ is directly given 900, 650. RSQ's total of 900 and 650 in the ratio of 4 is to 3. In the ratio of 4 is to 3. RSQ total of AQ equal to 900 plus 650. Have to split this as RSQ of A, RSQ of B, 1550 into 4 by 7 and 1550 into 3 by 7. 885.71, 664.29. You want to round off, you can round off this. Computation of SQ. What is the input output ratio in this question? 100 by 90. Loss of some 10% is given in the question. What is the actual output? Into 100 by 90. 1644. We'll have to split 1644. I'll do rounding off itself here. 886, 664. 1644 in the ratio of 4 is to 3. 1644 in the ratio of 4 is to 3. 939 and 705. These are the numbers. Any doubts on this? Any doubts in these numbers? So the first column is 45 into 939, 30 into 705, 45 into 886, 30 into 664, 45 into 900, 30 into 650, 43 into 900, 32.5 into 650. I'll not spend much time on material variances. I want to spend time on the other one. Material cost, mix alone is negative, everything else is positive. Mix alone is an adverse variance, everything else is a positive variance. You need any explanation, let me know. I'll spend more time on labor variances. There's a lot to explain in labor variances. I want to spend time on the material variance in this question. Any doubts on the material variances? Hmm. Same only, no? 1400 by 1400 minus 10% is same. It's 100 by 90 technically. No, no. In this case, you'll have to see mathematically is it equal or not. So 1400 minus 10% or 100 minus 10%. Any doubts on this? If this is done, I'll proceed ahead where lot to explain is there. Any doubts on the material variances? Ideally, I shouldn't do the material variance part because this is technically like homework. Material variance is something we have already discussed, done. Again, take a one problem just to revise it. Any doubts? Can you proceed? Okay, now coming to labor variance, let's first understand. Question says an idle labor time of 5% of expected labor hours was also estimated. See, when I did my planning, I am telling that 5 percentage of the time will be idle. This is during the planning exercise itself. If you say this is during the planning exercise, if you do more than 5%, that only is idle time. Till 5% is not idle time. In this question, they have not told what is the actual idle time. Actual idle time data is not available in the question. Indirectly, this is a multiple labor without idle time problem. It is a multiple labor without idle time problem because it just says expected idle time. I'll show you one more question where, just give me. 10 percentage of the labor time was lost due to idle time. Standard idle time is 7.5% of labor time. So when we do this question, that time I'll say that extra 2.5% is only idle time. That extra 2.5% alone is the idle time. In this question, they have said 5% will be idle. But how much is the actual idle time? Not mentioned in the question. In short, this is multiple labor without idle time problem. It is multiple labor without. When you do this question, at that time I'll tell you this is a multiple labor with idle time, because it said 10 percentage of the time should be lost. Sorry, 10 percentage of the time has been lost, whereas we should have lost only 7.5%. In a very rare scenario like this, idle time variance can be favorable also. Very rare scenario in which what can happen is you expected 7.5, it turned out to be only 6% or 5%. In that case, you have saved money. Very rare scenario. Normally, idle time has to be only adverse. In this question, 10% time is lost due to idle. Instead of 10, if they had said 5% is lost, 5 is 7.5, you are saving time. You are saving time. Let's get back to this question. So this is a problem on multiple labor without idle time, right? Labor variances. Labor variances. Category SR into SH, SR into RSH, SR into AH, AR into AH. I'll not be spending a lot of time on how the table comes, how the formula comes, all that you should pick up. You have a doubt, refer the chart. You can keep the theory notebook side by side and refer the chart in case at all you have a doubt. If you get a doubt on the formula, again refer the theory note. But I don't want to spend time on that now. What are the two category of workers? Skilled, unskilled, total, skilled, unskilled, total. How much is the SR? 37.5 into and unskilled, three places. 37.5 into and 22 into three places. What about the AR part? What is the actual rate? Yeah, readily available. Tell me. 35.5 into and 23 into. Actual hours. What is the actual hours? 1200 and 860. 1200 and 860. 1200 and 860. Note 1. Computation of RSH. Computation of RSH. Computation of RSH. For computing RSH, we need to put a total of what? Total of AH is equal to 1200 plus 860. 1200 plus 860, 2060. 1200 plus 860, 2060. Split in the ratio of 5 is to 4. 1000 is to 800. Split in the ratio of 5 is to 4. 1000 is to 800. Split in the ratio of 5 is to 4. 5 is to 4. 2060 into 5 by 9 and 2060 into 4 by 9, 5 by 9 and 4 by 9. 1144 916. RSH is the total of AH in 5:4 mix. Clear? Can you proceed? Any doubts? Okay, now comes the most important part. Note to computation of SH. Standard equation. Listen, it's given a slightly tricky manner, so I'll take you through the standard equation. Listen, question said, when I'm framing my standard equation, I'll not look at this, okay? Let me not look into this data. The original plan was to use 1800 hours, is to use 1800 hours and produce 1260 units. What is 1260 units? Is 1400 minus 10%, because your normal loss is 10 percentage of the total input. So original plan is to use 1800 hours, 1800 hours and produce 1260 units or 1260 kgs. What ICI has done, according to me, this should be the equation, but I'll tell what ICI has done. Let's follow that. They have done 1800, subtracted this 5% here in the standard equation. In the standard equation, they have subtracted that idle time of 5%, which I don't see anything wrong. But then they should subtract everywhere, even in RSH, even in AH, we should have subtracted. We did not subtract in AH, we did not subtract in RSH. Subtracting alone in SH didn't make sense to me, but I can't deviate from ICA solution because it has come in 4 times in RTP. It question can come in exam also at any time, so let me not deviate from their solution. The same answer they have been giving. So original plan was to produce, see, they did not add one more line here. One more line is estimated output. Estimated output is nothing but 1400 minus 10%, 1260. If this was given, you would have told the standard equation very easily, saying 1800 hours is equal to 1260 units. That data was given in a hidden manner. The data was given in a hidden manner. They have subtracted 5. That's what I remember. Anyway, I'll confirm it. But that's what I checked in the morning today when I was going through the solution. I found them deducting 5% in the standard time alone. That alone, according to me, is wrong. Either deduct it in everywhere. That is, how do I deduct everywhere? When I did this AH, if we subtract 5% here, automatically RSH 5% would have got subtracted, because RSH is total of AH. That would have been okay to me. If you are subtracting 5% everywhere, it is fine. Just subtracting in standard time alone didn't make sense, but let's follow what they have done. Alright, standard equation, 1800 hours minus 5% idle time equal to 1260 units, in bracket 1400 kgs minus 10%. 1400 kgs minus 10%. So net the equation is 1710 hours is equal to 1260 kgs. Let me call it as kgs rather than units. Sorry, till 60 kgs. 1710 hours is equal to 1260 kgs. 1710 hours is equal to 1260 kgs. Equal to 1260 kgs. Question mark equal to how many units have been produced? ST equal to AO. Question mark equal to 1480 kgs. Tell me what should come in that question mark. 1710 equal to 1260. Question mark equal to 1480. How much? It's cross multiplication. You guys should be able to do. Yeah, 2009 hours is equal to 1480 kgs. 2009 hours is equal to 1480 kgs. This problem is without idle time. It is not a with idle time problem because they have not given the actual idle time. We'll see problems where actual idle time will be given, then that will go in that category. Any doubts on this? Then SH of skilled and unskilled 5 is to 4. SH of skilled 2009 into 5 by 9. SH of unskilled 2009 into 4 by 9. 5 by 9 and 4 by 9. Clear on this? Any doubts? Can you proceed? Done? Any doubts on this? So let's quickly close this now. 37.5 into 1116 plus 22 into 893. Keep calculating this. Beyond this, it's more of your work. If you have doubt, you can refer the screen. Otherwise, do multiplication. Keep calculating the variances. Take your time. Let me know if there are doubts. In class I'm doing all variances. Whenever you do an exam problem, just see what is the requirement and answer that alone, and also use the name given in the question. For example, here they have used the word labor yield. Okay, sometimes they'll use the word labor sub efficiency. Mix is not asked, but still I am doing it in the class. So what is asked in the question, see that and then answer that. Take your time. In case you have a doubt, you refer this screen. Variance calculation is ideally like a homework. Basically, I don't have anything to add there. Done. Can you proceed? Most important part is always the standard time calculation. I believe we should not subtract that 5% when we did the standard equation. But I was giving that answer only, but IC has followed this, so let's follow this itself. Any doubts? Anybody still doing this? Okay, take your time, complete. Yep, done. Can you proceed? Any doubts? Any doubts on this? Yeah, this is what they have done. They have subtracted that 5% in the standard time. That alone, I was not very sure, but okay, let's follow what they have done. 23 is homework. This is the only question where The standard hours is directly given, so there's no calculation here. SH is directly given. The gang produced 1800 standard labor hours of work. They would have worked for more number of hours, but the standard time is 1800. I'll come back to 24. I'll see if needed, we'll solve it. I'll come back. Go through 25. Go through 25. Okay, let's start. The details regarding a product manufactured by a company for the last 1 week are as follows. Standard cost per unit, direct material, direct wages, actual, analysis of variances. So some variances have been given in the question. They've asked for some information like actual output, actual price, actual wages. As I have told earlier, our objective will be to complete the computation table. Once we complete the computation table, the missing information will automatically be computed. In this question, when I go through the data, first we'll have to analyze material variances, then we'll have to analyze the labor variances. In material variances, we'll get the computation table. Once the computation table is done, we will answer this this. The first three would be answered through material variance. That is, what is the material cost variance, how much is the actual output, and what is the actual price of material per unit. Then we move to labor variances. In the labor variances, again we'll reverse work and then get to the computation table. Once we get that, we need actual wage rate, labor rate variance, and labor cost variance. Material variance, single material, multiple material. Single, multiple, guys. Single. Labor, single, multiple. Single. With idle time, without idle time. Without idle time. So let's start first material variance table. SP into SQ, SP into AQ, AP into AQ. Standard price into standard quantity, standard price into actual quantity, and actual price into actual quantity. How much is the standard price given in the question? 22.5. Actual price is not available. Actual quantity is also not available, but the multiplication of them is available. The multiplication of that is 96 525. That is the multiplication of AP into AQ. I'll write it as 96 525. Later on we will try to split this. Why we are splitting? Because I need that. That could be one of the requirement of the question. We'll later try to split it. Okay. Now coming to the requirement of the question, or coming to the variance given, they have given material price variance and material usage variance. Listen, price variance is the difference between these two. In that, I have this. What I will end up getting is this. What I'll end up getting is this number. If you use material price variance, once you get this, you can say 22.5 into something is this number. You will get that. That will get copy pasted here. AQ will get copy pasted here. AP will come as a balancing figure. So let's use material price variance first. Material price variance is equal to SP into AQ minus AP into AQ. SP into AQ minus AP into AQ. How much is the price variance given in the question? Okay, minus 8775. Let me write it as SP into AQ itself. I can substitute if I want, but let me write it this way itself. Minus 96,525. Take 96,525 to the other side and tell me what is SP into AQ. SP into AQ is equal to, take 96,525 to the other side. Sorry, 87. Any doubts on 87,750? Any doubts on 87,750? I write 87,750 in this box. Tell me what should be the AQ. 22.5 into something is 87,750. 3000. I copy paste 3900 this side. What should be the AP? 24 point. Objective is to get the computation table. We'll first focus only on that. 24.75 into 3900. 22.5 into 3900. SP into SQ, even if that part is closed, the table is over, then we'll start answering the requirements of the question. Any doubts till this? What's the other variance given? Material usage variance. So usage variance is very simple. Comparing these two. When you compare these two, you will get this. Once you get this, you will get this missing data. You will get this missing data. Now, right, material usage variance is equal to SP into SQ minus SP into AQ. How much is the usage variance? Sorry, 620. 5625 favorable is equal to, let me keep the SP into SQ as it is. I can substitute also, or you keep it as it is, doesn't matter. 87,750. Take 87,750 to the other side. You will get SP into SQ. 93. Clear? I'll write 93,375 here. Get the balancing figure. 4,000. Any doubts on this? Objective is to always get the computation table. Now I'll see what is the requirement. Once the computation table is done, we'll see what is the requirement. Close the material variance part, then do the labor table, close the labor variance part. Any doubts on this? Working note to solution. What's the first thing asked in the question? Material cost variance is equal to SP into SQ minus AP into AQ. Listen, in this question, assuming you are not able to work with material variance, but still this question has come in exam. And if they ask you material cost variance, at least just add these two and close it. In exam, material cost variance is nothing but material price plus material usage. That formula I can use. I can use that formula also. Or I use SP into SQ minus. If in exam, in a scenario, you're not able to proceed with few things, at least close whatever is possible. Now, what is the SP into SQ number? 93, 375 minus 96. How much you get? 3000. This number is nothing but total of price and usage. If you put a total of price and usage, one is positive, another one is negative. So considering the sign, if you put a total, you will get 3150 adverse. 3150 adverse you should get for price and usage put together. Any doubts on this? What's the second requirement? Now for actual output, what I will do is, let me write actual output, but I'll write the formula. SQ is equal to AO into input by output. This will give me the actual output. Standard quantity is equal to actual output into input by output. What's the standard quantity? 41 is equal to AO into input output ratio. Look at in that first table, they would have told how many units of raw material. Standard cost per unit. For 1 unit, you need 10 units of raw material. For 1 unit, you need 10 units of raw material. Always see, whenever a cost sheet is given, standard time, standard hours, everything becomes very simple. How this cost sheet is useful is 1 unit is equal to 10 units of input, 1 unit is equal to 5 hours. The standard equation will be very simple. Whenever a standard cost sheet is given, this will be given in few problems. Wherever a cost sheet is given, standard equation, input output ratio and all becomes very simple. So into 10 by 1, AO is the balancing figure. Tell me. AO is the balancing figure. 41. Clear? What's the third requirement? That's already calculated. Look at the table and tell me what's the actual price. Any doubts on this? Clear? Can you proceed? Any doubts on this? Next, working note 3, labor variances. SR into SH, SR into AH, AR into AH. Standard rate into standard hours, standard rate into actual hours, actual rate into actual hours. Whatever is available, let's write it. Balance we'll see. Is the standard rate available? How much? 120. AR into AHS directly given how much? Objective is to somehow get the table first. Which variance is given in the question? Efficiencies comparing these two. Efficiencies comparing these two. Listen. I cannot use the efficiency variance as of now directly. I cannot use the because SH is also missing, AH is also missing. What should I do then? SH is missing, AH is missing. I cannot use efficiency variance. I don't think so. Rate variance is there in the question. Rate variance part is not there in the question. So what should I do? Let me know what can be the approach. How should we proceed? What should we do? Tell me. Should be a fairly simple, straightforward answer. Tell me what should I do here? I want participation from you guys.
Let's find SH first, no, sir.
Yeah. Okay, I've got the answer from a live online student. Right. Computation of SH. Computation of SH. Standard equation. I've already told you the equation. Standard equation. How many hours is equal to how many units? Standard equation. Sorry? Where is 10 units coming? 10 units is raw material. 5 hours is equal to, where are you, why are you guys looking at 5 hours is equal to 1 unit? This is what I told that time. 5 hours is equal to 1 unit. The standard cost card per unit. Standard cost card per unit. Listen for a minute. We'll be doing comprehensive problems, but most of the question comprehensive will be like this. The standard cost per unit. This means 2 is to 1 is the input output ratio. 1 unit is equal to 1 hour is the standard equation. That is how the standard cost sheet is to be read. This is standard cost per unit. So 2 meters of raw material will give you 1 unit of output. So input output is 2 is to 1, and standard equation is 1 unit is equal to 1 hour. 1 unit is equal to 1 hour. Similarly, 5 kg, 3 hours, all this will give you the standard equation. Input output ratio is 5 is to 1, and the standard equation between labor is 1 unit is equal to 3 hours. 1 unit is equal to 3 hours. In this question, the standard cost card is very clear. The cost card says per unit you will need 5 hours. Per unit you will need 5 hours. Now write 5 hours equal to 1 unit. ST equal to AO, 5 hours equal to 1 unit, standard time equal to actual output, question mark equal to 415 units. You calculated this earlier. 415 was a calculation done by you earlier. 5 hours equal to 1 unit, ST equal to AO, question mark equal to 415. Question mark equal to 415. Tell me the standard time. How much is standard time? 20 hours is equal to 415 units. 2075 hours is equal to 415 units. Any doubts on this? Can we proceed? Do into 2075. So now I'll be able to use that variance. Now we will be in a position to Use that variance given in the question. How much is 120 into 2075? 2 lakh. Come down. Labor cost, sorry, labor, which variance is there? Efficiency variance is equal to SR into SH minus SR into AH. SR into SH minus SR into AH. How much is the efficiency variance? Minus 5400 is equal to 2,49,000 minus SR into AH. SR into AH is the balancing figure. How much is SR into AH? 2 lakh. Put that in the table. When you put that in the table, what should be the AH? 2001. Copy paste 2120 to the other side. What is AR? Copy paste 2120 to the other side. What is AR? How much? 11 5.5. 115.5. 115.5. Any doubts on this? Once the computation table is done, we will see what is the requirement and try to answer them. Always critical is getting the table right. Any doubts on this? Any doubts on the table? What's the requirement? Actual, that's already calculated. Actual wage rate per hour is equal to 115.5. Actual wage rate per hour is equal to 115.5. 115.5. Next requirement. Sorry. Labor rate variance equal to SR into AH, AR into AH, two 54 400 minus 244 860. Minus 244 860. What is the labor rate variance? 95. 9540 favorable. What's the other thing asked in the question? Labor cost variance is equal. What's the formula? SR into SH minus AR into AH. Formula should be very, very clear to you. What you can do at home is put all the charts without seeing and then write formulae just for one practice. Write all formulae without looking at the chart, without looking any notes. 249 minus 244 860. How much? 4140. Any doubts on this? Clear? Can you proceed? Any doubts on this? Go through 26. Okay, I'll start explaining it. Following information relates to KP Limited. Number of workers in standard gang. That is the composition is 12 is to 8 is to 5. Standard rate per hour is given. Actual gang, it should be actual gang, not actual gain. Actual gang. There is an,
Sir,
yeah,
so your screen is too blurred, sir.
screen is blurred. My God. Okay. Okay. So it's the actual number of workers we don't know. We'll see. Actual rate per hour is given. Standard output of gang. Standard output of gang is 12 units per hour of the product M. Now, please spend a little bit of time and tell me what is the standard equation. I don't want it wrong now. Give me the right standard equation. I want everyone to participate. Sorry, 50. How did you get 50? You were almost right, but what is 50? Total labor is 25 only. No, where do you get 50? 12 plus 8 plus 5, 25. You cannot add 25 plus another 25. So it is 25 hours equal to 12 units. 25 hours is equal to 12 units because the gang should have 25 people. In reality, also the gang has 25 people. The only challenge there is I don't know the breakup. In that 20 were lost due to machine breakdown. There is a machine breakdown which has happened, and 2295 units could be produced. Actual number of skilled workers is 2 times the semi skilled worker. Labor mix variance is 10,800. Some requirements have been asked in the question. First thing, single labor, multiple labor. Guys, participate, guys. With idle time, without idle time. With idle time, let's put the table first. Let's put the table. Category SR into SH, RSH, AHW, AHP, and AR into AHP. We'll try to fill whatever is possible. Missing stuff, we'll see how to get it. SR into SH, RSH, AHW, AHP, and AR into AHP. What are the category of workers we have? Skilled, okay, right, skilled, semi-skilled, and unskilled. The SR is given in the question. How much? 4 places. 75, 50, and 40 at 4 places. AR is also available in the question. 80, 48, 42. First we fill rate in this order. Then in the reverse order we'll write the number of hours where we have certain challenges. I'll explain the challenges as we proceed. Any doubts on this? Now question has mentioned the gang has engaged for 200 hours during the month. That is every employee would have worked for 200 hours. Every employee would have worked for 200 hours. The only problem I have is I don't know how many skilled, I don't know how many unskilled, I don't know how many semi skilled. So I'm not able to write the AHP number. I'm not able to write the age. What is AHP is 200. You can write here 200 into something. I don't know that something as of now. 200 into, it is like this. you can no, you need not put a question mark, but you can leave it blank. 200 into what that number of employees we don't know. We don't know the number of employees. Same here, 200 into question mark. Same here, 200 into question mark. This is on AHP. We don't know that question mark. We'll see how to get it later. You need not even write 200 into. Just listen for some time, okay? This is 200 into again. We don't know this number. AHW is also given in the question. How much is the idle time loss? 20 hours, which means 180 hours per employee. 180 into, again, the problem for me is this only. I don't know the number of people. We don't know the number of people. So because of which we are kind of stuck. 180 into, we don't know the number. 200 into number we don't know. 180 into what we number we don't know. But one thing I know is skilled, semi-skilled, unskilled put together is 25 people in the actual gang also. Put together is the actual gang is 25 people. Now, you need not write this question marks and all. Come down, note 1, computation of RSH. Computation of RSH. Computation of RSH. Total of HW is equal to total of HW is equal to 180 hours into 25 workers. Listen. I don't know the breakup, how many skilled, how many semi-skilled, how many unskilled, but the total of the three is 25. The total of the three is 25. So what we are going to do is 180 into 10, 5, 10, 12, I don't know the number, but whatever number it turns out to be, all the three put together will be 25. So 180 into 25 is total of AHW, 180. Total of AHP also I can tell you 200 into 25. 200 into 25, but I need the breakup. So what to do for breakup, we'll see. Tell me the AHW number. 4000. Split this as RSH of skilled equal to RSH of semi-skilled equal to RSH of unskilled equal to. The standard mix is given in the question. The standard composition or mix is given in the question. What is the standard composition? Sorry, 12, 8 and 5. So let me split in the ratio of 12, 8 and 5 into 12 by 25 into 8 by 25, 5 by 25. Only thing which is stuck as of now is AHW and AHP. RSH we have got. Can you proceed? Any doubts on this? Note 2, computation of SH. Standard equation. Standard equation. 25 hours equal to 12 units. 25 hours is equal to 12 units. 25 hours is equal to 12 units. It's at 12 units per hour. In 1 hour, 25 people will work. Listen, in case the actual gang was 30 people, then also standard equation is only 25, because what matters is the standard gang. The standard gang. We saw one problem where standard gang had 35 people, actual had some 45 people. So the gang can have different people. This original plan is 1 hour, 25 people, 12 units. 1 hour, 25 people and 12 units. ST equal to AO. Question mark equal to, what is the actual output? 2009. How many units? Only 295. Okay, 2290. Sorry. 2295 units. Okay. To answer this, we'll quickly close this question. There's some power disruption. Tell me the standard time. 25 equal to 12. Question mark equal to 2295. 4725 hours is equal to 2000. We need to now split this in the ratio of 12 is to 8 is to 5. Split this in the ratio of 12 is to 8 is to 5. SH of skilled equal to 4781.25 into 12 by 25. 4781.25 into 8 by 25. 5 by 25. Two two nine five 1530 956.25. 2295 1530 956.25. 956.25. Any doubts on this? Clear? Can you proceed? So I copy paste the numbers here. 2295 1530 956 point. Close the column 1 and column 2, multiply and write the figures. 75 into 2295. 2 lakh 86,875. Just a minute. 2 lakh 70,000. Somewhere if I get that standard composition, that is sorry, actual composition, problem will get over. If I get to know what is the actual number of members, that's the first requirement of the question. The first requirement itself is to calculate how many people are there in every gang. Any doubts till this? Can you proceed? Now let's look at some information in the question. They have given us 2-3 data point. One data point they are saying the gang was engaged for 200 hours. The actual number of skilled worker is 2 times the semi-skilled worker. Now listen for some time. A very important explanation. I'll assume the semi-skilled to be A. A very important explanation. Semi-skilled is A. Skilled is 2A. Skilled is 2A. And unskilled is 25 minus 3A. Unskilled is 25 minus 3A, because I want everything to be in A so that I can solve and get. If you assume A, B, C, you cannot get the answer. Question said actual number of skilled worker is 2 times the semi-skilled. Semi-skilled is A, skilled is double A, and your unskilled is 25 minus 3A. Now what is the use of this is, you need not write this part here, but technically this into 2A, this into A, this into 25 minus 3A. In your notebook, you need not write this. This minus this is the mix variance which is given in the question. This minus this is the mix variance which is given in the question. That is SR into RSH minus SR into AHW. SR into RSH is 2,70,000. AHW 75 into 180 into 2A plus 50 into 180 into A plus 40 into 180 into 25 minus 3A into 25 minus 3A will get the answer to A after that problem is over. Now right, let us assume actual number of actual number of semi-skilled workers actual number of semi-skilled workers to be A, actual number of skilled workers to be 2A, double of semi-skilled 2A, number of unskilled workers is equal to 25 minus A minus 2A, or technically 25 minus 3A. 25 minus 3A. Clear? Now right, labor mix variance is equal to, in your table don't write anything there, don't write A, 2A and all, I can keep deleting, you cannot delete it. SR into RSH minus SR into AHW. SR into RSH minus SR into AHW. How much is the mix variance given in the question? Adverse minus 10,800 is equal to, minus 10,800 is equal to 2,70,000 minus 2,70,000 minus what is the standard rate for skilled? 75 into 180 into 2A, number of hours into number of workers. 75 into 180 into 2A. 180 is the hours worked per worker. 180 is the hours worked per worker. 75 into 180 into 2A. Second worker, what is the rate? 50 into 180 into A. 50 into 180 into A. Third worker 40 40 into 180 into 25 in bracket minus 3A. Now it's your job to simplify this and get me the answer to A. But A is equal to 7. This is what I'm getting. A equal to 7 is what I am getting. Let me know if you get anything different. Simplified the equation. You can check in case you're stuck. A equal to 7 is what I'm getting, which means number of semi-skilled workers is 7. Skilled will be double of 7, 14, and unskilled will be 4. Let me know if you get this number. If you get anything different also, please let me know. Once this is done, problem is almost over. Minus 10,800 equal to 270 minus 27,000 A plus 9,000 A plus 1,80,000 minus 21,600 A. Minus minus both the sides are there, that gets cancelled. Net net it is 280,800 equal to 14,400 A plus 1,80,000. A equal to 7. A equal to 7. Can I proceed? I just want to quickly close the table. Balance part you can do at home also. Want to close the table. Table computation is the most important part in any problem. Any doubts on 7? Guys, can I, if you're still stuck, let me know. Can we proceed? Now below this, right, number of semi-skilled workers 7, number of skilled workers 2 into 7 14, and number of unskilled workers 25 minus 21 4. Semi-skilled is 7, skilled is double 14, and unskilled is 25 minus 21. 25 minus 21, which is 4 employees. So basically the standard composition was 12 is to 8 is to 5. The actual is 14 is to 7 is to 4. This is 14, 7, 4. Any doubts on this? Any doubts on 14, 7, 4? Okay, you can just close this and balance you do at home. You can just write here into 14, into 7, into 4. 200 into 14, into 7, into 4. 14, 7, 4. Whatever the question asks, you can do all that calculation at home, but my focus is only getting the computation table correctly. Always in this chapter, focus should be on the computation table. Please focus on the computation table, things will automatically work. And the tricky or the important part is standard equation. I'm kind of done with today's session. If there are doubts, let me know. The requirements of the question were they wanted us to calculate actual number of workers I've done, labor rate variance, yield variance, efficiency variance, all that is just formula application. My focus was getting this. I have explained you the entire part. This part is done. We have got 286, 270, 280, 800, 312 and 324, 800. Any doubts on this? Clear? There was one more question which was pending in labor. That is also homework only. 20? Yeah. There's a lot of homework questions I've given, but more for your practice. I can keep doing any number of questions. Please do those questions. We'll discuss. We're done with material, labor. Tomorrow's session will start with overhead variance. High possibility tomorrow can be a fully live online because there is a heavy rain expectation. So depending on that, it could be a fully live online session as well. And Sunday as well could be a fully live online. Both the days it could turn out to be fully live online. We'll see.